Okay, I'm just gonna get right to it. So this is the hub, and that's just the elevator room where the player first starts off. I made it a central hub just because I didn't want the player to just walk back and forth a lot from the levels. So the player's supposed to figure out that, oh, that's an icicle, you can interact with it. And in this case, my left click, which is the gun, signifies throwing a stone. The stone doesn't do any actual damage, but it allows interactivity with the environment. And that was the switch that I just pressed just now. It made a little sound. Hopefully you can hear it. And that's just an indication that something's happened. So when you go back into the central hub, the player will notice that this is a green fire and there's one of them there and nothing here, but the other ones are locked. So they'll come to figure out that the green fire is just an indication of the areas they've already beaten. And this place is a jumping jumping puzzle, but it's also another puzzle in the sense that when you hit the altar, some of the pillars go down while others go up. So you're supposed to kind of figure out which order of the pillars to hit in order to reach the switch. And a lot of times in this level, the important areas are indicated by fires. So over there's a treasure chest. Over here is the switch. So that's where we're trying to get to. So that's why I use light, or how I use light. It's just an indication of important things in the level. The switch, sound, and then these guys pop up, and that's just a little surprise for the player to keep things a little bit interesting. And then once they're done with that, they can just go back. I've disabled all of the pillars except for this one, but that's just a safeguard for the start of it, and that way the player isn't annoyed by having to redo the pillar, because it's not exciting to just having to do something you just did. Plus there's no point in doing it because you already achieved your goal. So once we go here, they should hear a sound, and that sounds a boulder that comes down this ramp. Once it hits these little walls, the boulder will stop for a second and then continue on, and that just gives a little buffer zone for the player to be able to survive the boulder. Right now it's a little slow, and that's just because I couldn't fix the physics of it, but I think the point comes across. There's another switch indicated by the light. And then another thing I did for this room is, because it was just running, that was the main mechanic over there, now I added combat on the way back as the main mechanic. So essentially I reused the area just because I didn't want the player to just have this constant long walking of a hallway. And that way the combat adds a little bit more interesting interactivity. Then here's another area. On the left is just a dead body. It gives you a little bit of story. More monsters to attack. There's a treasure. In this room is the big colored fire. As you can see, there's 3 colored goblins. This fire is an indicator of which goblin to hit. Right now it's blue. I couldn't get the little red out, but that's just because the particle system was weird. This fire is blue, so that means I have to attack these blue goblins and not those. If I do attack the ones that aren't colored in the same way as the fire, because the fire changes, then the ones that don't match don't take damage, and if you hit them enough times, then you'll get a debuff. There's another switch. Sound for indication something changed. So then when you go to the first room, it's pretty much all green, and there's one door that doesn't have a light. It's this one. The lights are all to the right, so it's this one. This is the merchant. You can buy HP potions and weapons and stuff like that for the boss. This is the boss door. You open it, you see there's nothing. You go in, the boss comes from the ceiling, and then you begin the boss fight. And then if you go like around here and the boss hits this pillar, something will come down from the ceiling and hit him and stun him. If you do it for all 4, a big chunk falls down, and you do a lot more damage, and you stun him a lot more. And this is just the exit.